Tat Sat. We began by looking at Kama, then we looked at Krodha. Today, we look at Lobha. Lobha basically means greed, the want to have more and more and more. Like I always say, what is the definition of enough? You can never have enough of anything, isn't it? Right? 9 becomes 10, 10 becomes 11, 11 becomes 12, 1 becomes 2. Big becomes bigger, bigger becomes biggest. Right? And I think I told you when I did Bhaja Govindam, the 99 Club story, and I think it's worth repeating here. So this king once was out at about, with his wise counselor riding on him. And he saw this beggar merrily whistling and being so happy. Why is begging? So the king asked his wise counselor, he said, how come this fellow is begging for food, but he sounds so happy, he's free of all problems and all of that? And the minister said, that's because he's not part of the 99 Club, Your Honor, Your Majesty, And the king said, what do you mean? He said, just leave it with me. In a week's time, we'll come the same way. And, we will reevaluate things then. So what the minister did, he went and he put a bag of gold coins, and outside it is written 100, 100, right? He put bag of gold coins outside the beggar's house, and he watched. The next morning, when the beggar woke up and he opened his door, he saw this. He said, wow, 100 gold coins. Then he emptied it because he wanted to count to see if there's 100, but there was only 99. He counted again and again and again and again. He said, well, something is wrong. It's not 100, it's only 99. So maybe I need to get the one more gold coin to make it 100. So after that, he was so intent on getting the one other gold coin to make it 100 that he lost all sense of, purpose in his life. Whatever happiness he had, whatever, a happy-go-lucky attitude he had, all went because he was only focused on, doing work here, doing work there, doing that, doing this, just to get enough money to convert it to one gold coin so he can make the 99 become 100, right? So he stopped talking to his family. He was being very grouchy, grumpy, because all the time his thought is, I must make this into 100. So a week or two later, the king was riding again, and he saw this beggar that 2 weeks ago was whistling and was happy-go-lucky and free of problems. He saw him, so weighted. His face was so laden with problems, and he looked as though he was, he was having so many issues. And surprisingly, he looked at the minister and said, what has happened to this fellow? It's such a change. He said, Your Majesty, this fellow is officially now part of the 99 Club. And until he gets his 100 coins, he will be like this. So the moral of the story is, we need very little to live happily in this life, but our wants are infinite. So the message is, learn to control, as I said earlier, everything in moderation. Reflect and ask yourselves, just like, when I told you when I did karma, is this a need or is this a want? Can I live without this? So at every stage, inquire. And that is the way to proceed in your spiritual journey. Anyada sharanam nasti.